Killer clowns, evil clowns, and sad clowns aren't anything new. For hundreds of years, audiences have witnessed clowns commit murder on stages, engage in violent slapstick, and have their hearts broken, who in turn exact a bloody revenge. However, for the past 2 decades, mainstream media has really become a major contributor to pushing this evil clown narrative, causing a sort of clown panic we didn't see before. One clown in particular, Art, has easily become the world's most terrifying modern clown. He made his first appearance in Damien Leone's short horror film, The Ninth Circle, in 2009, played by Mike Giannelli. He made his feature debut in 2013 in All Hallows Eve, also written and directed by Damien Leone. Damien then wrote and directed Terrifier and Terrifier 2. And because Mike retired from acting, Art was played by David Howard Thornton. Hopefully, there'll be a Terrifier 3. Thank you for joining me today, fellow Stardust, as we take a look at 5 of the most iconic and scariest clowns in film and television from 2010 to today, and see how they compare to Art. For a brief history on clowns and why they've always been a figure of tragedy and fear, check out part 1 of this series. This list will be in no particular order, but of course, Art is number 1. Let's jump right in. Twisty the Clown from 2014's American Horror Story Freak Show is first on my list, and is played by John Carroll Lynch. Twisty's backstory is an example of a classic tragic clown who only wants to make people laugh, even though he feels great sadness inside. Twisty was dropped on his head as a baby, which caused a slight mental disability. As an adult, he became a successful carnival clown, where he was especially popular with the kids. Other freak show performers were jealous of Twisty, and began spreading rumors and said that he molested children. Once the rumors spread, Twisty was unable to find work anymore and had no idea why. Devastated and no longer able to support himself, Twisty attempted to take his own life with a shotgun, but he soon found out he was immortal. In his attempt, he blew off his lower jaw, leaving his face disfigured. To cover up his face, Twisty wore a menacing grin mask that went from ear to ear, a smile that reminds me a lot of Gwynplaine's in The Man Who Laughs, as well as Art. Art's smile is what makes him the most terrifying at first glance, especially because it seems to never fade away. Like Twisty, the smile is dirty and uninviting. One day, Twisty tried to get hired at Elsa's freak show, but he did not land the job. This was the last straw for Twisty, and this is what causes him to snap. He begins his killing spree, but because he's delusional, he doesn't know what he's doing is wrong. He kidnaps and kills kids with the belief that he is saving them from their mean parents. In a way, you might feel sorry for Twisty, just a little bit. But that compassion will be the reason why Twisty will make you his next victim. Both Twisty and Art come back from the dead after attempting to take their own life, but each of them does so for very different reasons. Art was in the middle of killing his last victim when the cops showed up, and instead of letting them capture him, he also shot himself in the mouth. Immortal, murderous clowns are what nightmares are made of. The next clown on the list also returns from the dead, but his death wasn't his own doing. Stitches is a 2012 British-Irish film directed by Conor McMahon. Stitches, played by Ross Nobles, is a clown who performs at children's birthday parties, but while performing at one party in particular, the children decide to play a prank on him, which results in his accidental death. However, when one of the kids visits the clown's grave, he encounters a group of clowns who warn him that a clown can never rest in peace if they die before finishing a birthday party. 6 years later, Stitches returns to exact revenge on the kids who are responsible for his death. The lore in this one incorporates egg painting, which is a practice actually done today that started in 1946. Once a clown becomes a part of the International Circus Clowns Club, their clown makeup is included in the clown egg registry that also loosely serves as a sort of patent for the clown's makeup. The powers that allow Stitches to come back from the dead are also what enable him to kill his victims in very imaginative ways. One of my favorites in this comedy horror is when he blows up one of the kids' heads with a balloon pump. Both Stitches and Art have a selection of murder tools to choose from. No two victims die the same way. Before Stitches' death, he wasn't really a good guy. It's a wonder how he even continued to get hired at children's parties, considering the way he looked and his lack of professionalism. So when he died, it was as if his negative attributes were amplified, and he became exactly what coulrophobics fear the most: someone in a playful outfit, with happy-looking makeup, an over-the-top jolly disposition, and ready to fly off the handle at any moment. And when he does, it's not for fun, but instead, his shenanigans leave you dead. Art also leans heavily into the over-the-top jolly attitude and big gestures. As a silent clown, he uses his facial expressions and body movements to express his emotions or to get a reaction out of someone. With the normal happy clown, coulrophobics are afraid of these big gestures because they aren't sure if suddenly those gestures will become violent or somehow harmful to either them or the clown. In Art's case, when he puts on a show, you can always expect his audience to be dead at the end of it. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker from 2019, directed by Todd Phillips, just had to make it onto this list. Of all the clowns on this list, this is the most realistic portrayal of a modern-day clown or comedian. We've got another clown with a tragic past, but his only desire is to make others laugh. Arthur, who dresses as the Joker, has a condition called pseudopulbar, a condition that causes uncontrollable outbursts of laughter or crying. A clown's laugh alone is enough to make a coulrophobic's skin crawl. Even without the clown makeup, Arthur's laugh is just as creepy, if not more. Part of what is unsettling about clowns is not knowing how they truly feel under the makeup, permanent smiles, and goofy clothing. When some people think about what they're looking at on the outside not matching what the clown is actually feeling on the inside, their minds begin to wander. They start to think about the intentions of the clown and who they might benefit or harm. Not only is the Joker doing his best to overcome his past and move around incessant obstacles, he's also dealing with mental illness. This story of the Joker sheds a light on America's current system that allows people with mental illness to fall between the cracks and not get the medical attention they need. The Joker only wants to feel good and help others feel good, but his environment prevents him from achieving his full potential. Him helping the woman on the train was condemned, his innocent interaction with the small child was unappreciated, and his hard work in stand-up comedy was spat on by his idol. No matter how good the Joker's intentions are, he is met with resistance at every turn. While watching the story unfold, you can feel the tension building and you know that the Joker will soon reach a point of no return. And once we get to that point of no return, we can't really blame him for his actions. However, I would never want to come face to face with the Joker. He might take your stare for ridicule, shoot you in the head, then dance a little number afterwards. A gun is also used by Art, a weapon not typically used by killer clowns or in slasher movies. Unlike the Joker, Art is completely silent. When he laughs or cries out in pain, he does so in a mime-like way. A silent clown is always more creepy than a clown who speaks. It makes them less human. Speaking of Gwynplaine, this is who inspired the design of the original Joker in the 1940s. The evil clown character who made his debut as Batman's villain is a much different character than Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. However, we may see more similarities between the two in 2024, in the Joker's sequel. To bring it back to Art's smile again, his design was inspired by the Joker. Always there and always menacing. Our next clown is Kent, played by Andy Powers from the movie Clown, released in 2014 and directed by John Watts. Although the film has Eli Roth's name all over it, Eli actually didn't become involved with the project until it was almost completed. The creators of the film released a fake trailer which said, "From the Master of Horror, Eli Roth," even though Eli didn't know the film existed. Eli loved how gutsy the creators were and also really loved the story, so he decided to throw himself in as an executive producer. In this story, after Kent's wife informs him that the clown they hired won't be making it to their kid's birthday party, he finds an old clown costume in the basement of the house he is trying to sell. After putting on a good show, Kent falls asleep with the costume on. When he wakes up the next day, he's unable to take it off, including the nose and wig which have become a part of his body. He soon finds out the costume is actually the skin and hair of a demon who he's slowly turning into, and the only way to get the costume off is to eat 5 children. We have another clown whose outward appearance or actions don't match their emotions on the inside. Here we have the sort of opposite effect going on that typically freaks people out about clowns. Kent might look scary, dirty, and like he wants to eat you, but deep down, he really just wants to be a good husband and father. However, the demon is too powerful, and Kent has no choice but to succumb to the demon's needs, much like Art. Art has a deep, insatiable desire to bring people to their end. He also engages in cannibalism and revels in his victims' aftermath. This is what makes him the most terrifying clown. Art possesses all of the scariest traits a clown could have. He's silent, and his big, sporadic movements will keep you on edge, especially when he's chasing you, covered in blood with a knife in his hand. His unwavering, dirty grin reminds you of his love for eating human flesh. We don't know his motive, which adds to the creep factor. Although for me, I also love a good backstory. And I've heard Damien say he gives us a little bit, but not too much of Art's backstory in the second installment, which is set to be released in a few days as of today. He also said that Art is all of the most violent serial killers put into one body, and whose clown is the exact opposite of Pennywise, who was bright, colorful, and very vocal. Pennywise is another clown that could have been put on this list, and I would have included him, but technically he's not a clown, and he's on every clown list, so I figured I'd give another creepy clown the spotlight. Also technically, he was a clown from the 80s, and has only been recently reimagined in the remake films. Art is ruthless, and his fascination with dismembering his victims makes for quite the bloody show. After you've seen him once, it's as if you're cursed, because soon enough, you'll wind up dead. He seems to defy the space-time continuum by popping up in places that seem humanly impossible. His favorite night to hunt is on Halloween. With David Howard Thornton channeling Charlie Chaplin, Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger, and Tim Curry's Pennywise, he and Damien were able to create one of the best villains ever created, especially since the 80s. Let me know in the comments if you agree, or tell me who you think the scariest clown out there is. Thank you again for joining me today, fellow Stardust. I appreciate you being here with me. I'll be back tomorrow with the live stream where you will be able to compete for a prize. So, if you haven't already boarded the Rainbow Fright Freight Train, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. I hope I see you next time. Peace.